And yes, we're back. Obviously, you just heard Edge's theme. I love Edge's theme so much. Ironically, it's a good segue into this part 2, I think. I think it was a good choice.
I think so too. It's one of my favourite themes, if not my favourite theme of all time.
Yes, I think at some point we've got to do like some sort of list.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do like a podcast. Like a podcast of lists, like where we just like we turn up. It looks like we're going to be here for a while longer than just another week, so it could maybe that's another of. Mm-hmm. I'll put it on my really long list of things to get done. You should see it; it's long, a lot of stuff. Anyway, enough for me. I'm making this thing way longer than it should. So
Night
anyway,
2.
so. Yes, so obviously there was 2 kickoffs, and obviously the one we just talked about was the Cesaro Gulak one, and this one was I know for a fact you thought why is this a match, and you're talking about Liv Morgan versus Natalya. So Josh, why are you unhappy with this one?
Not unhappy, but just confused in general. But then it is WWE; they do make odd bookings from not time to time, most often. Surely it makes much more sense to do maybe a triple threat match or like a match with Liv Morgan against Ruby Riott or have Sarah Logan involved there. But it's Liv Morgan and Natalya. This kind of up-and-comer against this veteran. And Liv Morgan won. I don't remember anything about the match because I wasn't at all invested, to be honest.
No, I mean... I
really like Liv. I really like Liv Morgan. Her last couple of Rumbles, she's been in for, I think, a total of maybe 30 seconds or something like that. Had really awful showings, really unfairly. And then she had a sort of decent showing at Elimination Chamber. I know she got bashed around by Shayna Baszler, but she was in the final 3. So I'm hoping she gets pushed.
Yeah, I mean, I think with this one, it might be a situation of just maybe Ruby Riott couldn't come in, couldn't get here. Maybe we just. I think I don't want to use that as an excuse for poor booking, but I mean, but that I think
you have to bear in mind the current pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, or you can always go by if you've got
just
nothing
don't do it at all. Move on to the matches that was on the card onto the kickoff. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I could probably put that King Corbin versus Nice One on there, please. Yeah, there wasn't a fan of that, as you can probably guess.
No.
But yeah, so obviously you had that match, and then obviously the show started again, and and it obviously an interesting choice. I mean, I guess you could do it. I guess was put the NXT Women's Title match first, with obviously the challenger Charlotte, who won the Women's Royal Rumble and decided to go for the NXT title that was being rumoured beforehand to go against
the women open up
Ripley.
The women open up the show again, and it was very nice to in both matches. Nice to see them have a good length of time as well. This match, Charlotte and Rhea went for a solid 20 minutes, which is great. Yeah.
It was a nice change because obviously the first 2 matches on the first night were very short in the sense of just you can see where they're putting the time. But yeah, I mean, again, this match it was good because it's you always worry that styles don't mix well. But I think with this one it worked really well.
They complemented each other really well. I mean, they had that promo package beforehand with Rhea and Charlotte, and Rhea when she came in, she was. Telling a story about how a lot of people compared her to Charlotte. She was tall, blonde, obviously technically a great wrestler as well. But yeah, so they were playing off the similarity aspects. The only difference is one is much more established in their career at the moment. Now a 11-time. I was really liking. This is probably one of the better stories, I think. Of the WrestleMania build. I enjoyed this. I like the idea of them matching up together. And I think they delivered. I think they delivered a really solid match.
Yeah, I mean, I like there was some stuff I like the sort of again the simple storytelling with the working on the leg. Sort of the sort of setup, sort of using the whole Rhea Ripley is technically the rookie in this one, so the upstart, and obviously Charlotte was using her veteran like, you know, being in these type of matches before to sort of like get the upper hand, sort of like working on the body.
Rhea almost getting the upper hand at the beginning, you know, where Charlotte tries that counter and that kind of moonsault, I think, off the turnbuckle, then just getting hit with a super kick and then into the Riptide. It's like, oh, bloody hell, that would have been over very quickly. But that kept Charlotte on her toes and taking Ripley seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think what, again, like, it's just like, my first reaction was like, what? Charlotte won? But I was thinking, crap, because I was like, we're conditioned to sort of hate when people we pick don't win, and obviously because our prediction thing, we always think, crap, and we just get really annoyed. But
I'm okay with it because it can work one of two ways. So either Rhea could have won, and they really build up like NXT. I mean, this is good for NXT regardless, I think, result. Establishes Rhea as like one of the top faces of NXT. People will want to watch NXT because Rhea beat Charlotte, so they want to tune in and see who she's fighting up against next. And these new talent coming through NXT, and seeing those new faces. Say, if that's where Rhea came from, what are the other female talent like? And if Charlotte goes down there, it's refreshing. You know, she's been down there before. It's like when Finn Balor came back. It's a brand new coat of paint, just going down. Obviously, she's changed a lot from when she was first down there. And just seeing who she could go up against. There'd be fresh faces for her to go up against, but also fresh faces for Rhea Ripley. Now, is this potentially her time to go up to the main roster? You know, to go up to, you know, Bayley, Banks, Naomi, Becky, Shayna again. Potentially, you know. I think it works out best, like regardless of who won the match. So yeah, possibilities are endless, and no one when they. All right, maybe there was a little bit too much dominance from Charlotte, perhaps with the leg. I'd like to see Rhea get a little bit more of an upper hand at some points, but apart from that, I thought no one looked weak in the match. Rhea didn't look weak as soon as that figure eight was locked in. She held on for like a good long period of time. It almost reminded me of like Asuka the couple of years ago when she was locked in. She surprisingly tapped. When Shawn Michaels was locked in the ankle lock and couldn't get out of it at WrestleMania 21. I really enjoyed watching that back as well. WWE Untold. Michaels and ankle. Go and watch that as well. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I enjoyed this match. It's a good way to start. Again, just shame there's no one there. Oh.
Yeah, so again, it's getting past that again.
Yeah.
It's just got to get past that kind of thing. Because I think for like the casual, it might be too much. But I think for us, because we're obviously sort of diehard fans, sort of. So it's like we respect the art. So like we can watch matches just for the sake of the moveset, the style, all that kind of stuff. So I think that for us, we can sort of get past it a little bit. Oh, I can anyway. So I was looking at the actual. I can watch matches in an empty arena because I just like watching wrestling. It needs the crowd.
It does.
But yeah, I mean, again, this works because obviously the Charlotte thing. I think there's room. I read something about they're putting Charlotte on NXT because they're trying to get the ratings to get them. You know, trying to go over NXT AEW.
Yep. So
it makes sense, and obviously with the style of NXT's way they book things, Charlotte can like put across as the way she used to be. And sort of like instead of like showing people that she like really is as good as people say she is. It's not overbooking. It's nothing. She really is that good.
Yes.
But it's just because sometimes we sort of I don't like using the word fickle because that's harsh. But it's just like we sometimes like just it all started with the Becky thing, and she hasn't been able to shake it off a little bit, really. So maybe going to NXT, doing her own thing, staying away from the main roster for a bit might be good for her.
Yeah.
So people can remind them why good Charlotte is that good. And the style they got in NXT will work perfectly for her. So
I mean,
I'm actually quite excited.
There are already a few names I think of. I'd love to see Charlotte and Io Shirai would be great. Charlotte and Tegan Nox, Bianca Belair, but you know.
She's joining one of the best, you could say the best wrestling women's
I think
division
NXT has, well, I think it's a superior brand kind of anyway, but it's got good tag teams, good male stars, but also a good roster of female talent as well, and like new ones coming through as well. I have no idea who Dakota Kai's like kind of manager, like enforcer kind of is. I can't remember what her name is.
Oh yeah, the sort of
there's her. There's Shotzi Blackheart, for example. Tegan Knox is coming through. It's great. It's great to see. We're
not even talking about the NXT. We're not even talking about the NXT UK
Kaylee
stuff.
Ray, Toni Storm. Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, it's the best women's division in the world. I mean, because if you compare it to like other divisions, it's like you could always say like AEW, but there's just a work in progress. I think that's
one of AEW's weaknesses, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the problem is they have the same problem as some divisions. They don't have the star power. But anyway, yes, but we'll talk about that maybe another time. As much as I would love to dive into the quality of women's wrestling, we can't,
because we have 7 other matches to get through.
Yes,
we're over halfway.
So maybe yeah, we did it. Oh wait a minute, no we aren't. Okay, that's anyway. Yeah, but we got maybe that's another podcast. We've got some of the ideas anyway. So next, obviously after this, we had the I got this match again. Felt like, why is it on the main card of WrestleMania? I know it's not this sort of like a different feel, but why is it here? Talking about the Aleister Black.
I have no idea what the story was going into this.
Unless they done the whole like Bobby. I mean, again, I haven't watched it, so it might be a thing easy to find out. But maybe it's Bobby Lashley just the one that knocked on his door. Picking a fight.
I have no clue whatsoever. I thought there'd be like Bobby Lashley and Rusev or something, because that was, I don't know.
Well, where's Rusev anyway?
I think he's refusing to sign a contract, so as a result, WWE, as you know, are very, very petty in some occasions. So okay. So in that case, you can stay at home then. It's
again, he'll do a situation where they let him his contract run out, and then he'll hop over to AEW. We all know this to be true.
We do.
But anyway, it's not important anyway. But yeah, so this match was, I don't know how to describe this match. It was good. It was fine. It was I like the kind of, it was sort of speed versus power.
Pretty much. Sparks known for his strikes. Bobby Lashley's known for his strength. But yeah, it just ends with Lana trying to get involved, have her say no, you should spear Aleister Black, and I knew straight away then, so, okay, here comes the Black Mass. But
it was good to see, though. It was a great
the Black Mass is probably my favourite finisher, I think. Yeah.
It's up there with that out of nowhere feel. I mean, it's the 3 like out of nowhere moves. It's obviously RKO, the Sweet Chin music by Shawn Michaels, and obviously the I don't know if it's kicks. Yeah. It just looks great. Devastating. That's what I love about it. If you hit that,
the only thing I didn't love is just Aleister Black deserved so much better.
Yeah, I mean, how long has he been on the main roster?
It's longer than that, isn't it?
6 months.
Because I think it's because he came in after WrestleMania, because he had two matches last year, Takeover against the Raiders, and then he was in that multi-man tag team match, and then he was called to the main roster, but they didn't use him. He was just doing the pick the fight with me segments, and no one was fighting him until Cesaro knocked on his door, and then Buddy Murphy, which is great, and now he's just
that was a great match, by the way.
Matches,
It's just like I think the problem is that again they're doing it again, where they're doing this situation where they have something so good here that they could really do something good with, and they're just doing nothing.
Yeah, and
they're sort of doing that sort of. He needs a good story, like a really good one to really, like, you know, make him established. This one, we sort of just again,
and he has a win over AJ Styles.
Yes, well, a big help from the Undertaker, but you know, win's a win. The W's a W. But yeah, I mean, this was fine. I mean, I kind of like there was the one part that we didn't talk about, the bit where Aleister Black went for the moonsault he does from the second rope from the outside, and he hit it, but he landed on his feet, and then all of a sudden you got Bobby Lashley like picking up and doing that really good suplex.
Yes,
I think it's like throw. It's nothing amazing, but I think that's when I realised that again. Look at Bobby Lashley, and he's like, again, they could book him like Brock Lesnar if they wanted to, in the sense that he just do suplexes and just use his power but he don't. He's never
the problem with
wasted
Bobby
opportunities with
Lashley is just character now. So yeah, you've probably noticed that the best thing he's probably had is when he's been teamed with Leo Rush, and then he's with Lana. They had the most awful storyline. Oh god, it was just like TV trash, not just wrestling trash. It was just trashy television. Yeah.
No, it's just the old. It's that they're really trying to do the whole the Attitude Era title. That's what they were known for. But in the 2000s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, that sort of was well, I don't know, that kind of stuff you can get away with but now you can't really do the whole like, well, they're married. It's like, yeah, but we know they're not. Back because obviously everything's social media.
The whole thing's just a kick in the dick to Rusev. That's all it is.
Yeah, but when it comes to this match, this should have been on the pre-show. Maybe
I don't think this match should have been on the card. And this match should have had someone else. Nice open challenge. Let someone pick a fight with him. I don't care if it was like Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy again. I prefer that because at least then that's got some backstory. Can Buddy Murphy actually finally get the win over Aleister Black? There we go.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that could have been. Maybe that's again. We're doing it again. We've got time to think about it. Sometimes you just got to just. But yeah, I think this could have been easily. If this was a movie, right, and it was like you have to cut down for time.
This would have been cutting room floor.
This would have been cut. Yeah, because let's be honest, it would have been. But funny thing is, I don't know if they've done this purposely or just because it's just great timing. It's obviously what we're talking about, a bad love story. Now the next one. Now we talk about actually really
entertaining love story.
Yeah, let's give it that. We've got the Otis versus the devious. Oh God, damn you, Ziggler.
Yeah,
damn
and
you,
also the devious Sonya Deville.
I was shocked that she was involved. I thought
you knew kind of what was happening. Of
course it did it. Even a person with a
but then there's good predictability. You know, I quite like when they did the entrance. I can kind of dig Dolph as the wrestler and Sonya as the manager. I can dig that. I can see that working.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could always do the whole. What am I looking for? You can always do the sort of like Triple H, not Triple H, like Jericho in China or like Triple H in China.
Yes,
it's sort of like she's the enforcer. I know it's been done to death, you know, but they can work because obviously she's really good at the ring. She's definitely got better over the years, and obviously she's got that kind of martial arts type like an MMA type background. So you could definitely use her as an enforcer, and then obviously Ziggler. I mean, to be fair, Ziggler's just sort of there. He's always going to be. He's never going to get to a certain level anyway. So, and he is kind of entertaining still, I guess, and he's still quite good in the ring. So, but yeah, that could work. But yeah, this match was basically like Dolph trying to survive,
trying to run away from the 330-pound Otis. Yeah,
with a man so wants to destroy this man. Obviously, we talked about it on the part one. With the whole like mysterious man with on a computer able to hack things to find the truth will set you free. I mean,
there's one rumor about Ali, there's one about Killer Cross, but with the whole circle, you'd think, oh, that's Ali. Surely that's Ali, but that might just be a red herring.
Yeah, it might be, but I'm intrigued in some way, but it's got that sort of what's that thing they did in the Attitude Era called? Was it GTTV or something? Where like everyone kept putting like secret cameras in like everywhere, and no one, and they never found out who it was. So maybe that's what they're trying to do here. Maybe like some person is like, we're filming you.
We know everything.
We know everything.
It had the kind of similar kind of vibe. I don't know why, but kind of, you know, Dark Order a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But the whole Exalted one, and then the voice altering technology. My
God, can we for once? Just asking here. Can we stop using someone's secretive? We've got to make them mystery. We've got to make them, weird. That's put some voice altering thing. It's like doesn't work. It sounds really bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like they always do it with like deepen the voice so it sounds like you don't sort of like. I know it's an old trick you always use in movies, but come on, be a bit more creative. He doesn't even have to say anything. He just has to sort of turn around and you can put, it's fine. Anyway, that's not important, but that happened, so that's why. But then this basically was, it was basically, it was fine until obviously Mandy Rose comes back. And she I don't know why she wasn't there from the
I don't know either. She was like so overwhelmed about what Sonya did, so...
Such
betrayal. Obviously, Sonya distracts the referee, and then typical heel fashion, low blow, kick right in the dick, and then Mandy comes out.
Dick kick city.
Dick kick city. Mandy Rose comes out, slaps Sonya in the face, goes up to Dolph, low blow, boom. Dolph gets his comeuppance, gets hit with a caterpillar. 1, 2, 3, and with a nice feel good moment. And again, imagine the crowd.
The crowd would love that. I know I would. I did, because if
even if the crowd who were not into the storyline, just kind of sarcastically or ironically going, "Hey," just a bit of fun, just not taking it seriously. It would have just been fun. And then I wasn't expecting the kiss straight away. Oh, okay, there it is.
They're in love. They're in love. True love. Everyone loves true love.
Mandy Rose, even us, until Mandy Rose swerves and joins Ziggler, and it was all a ruse.
It was me, Austin.
It was me all along. Someone did the video, the video of the hacker. Someone did the video, the hood figure just turning round and it being Vince McMahon. It's me, Austin.
I think I don't know what it is, but I could use that every time. It'd be like, who made the tea? And it was like, it was me, Austin. It was me. Oh,
coronavirus, was it China? Was it made in the US? It's me, Austin. Son of a bitch.
There was no depths I will not take. If you were, you just, oh God, how that's the reason it works, because of Vince. But anyway, it's not the point. This was awesome. To just for us, it was again, we said it before. Why does this work? Because the characters are likable, and Otis was actually. It's because he's such a charismatic guy. He's so likable that you want him to succeed. So that's why you've kind of went along with it. If it was, it's like they're both Bobby Lashley and Lionel and this. It's like they're showing each other that yes, we can make bad stuff, but then obviously we can make a sort of semi-decent love story.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was kind of invested.
It wasn't meant to be taken too seriously.
If it is fun, it's nothing amazing, but it's just if it's entertaining. I mean, we forget that if it's kind of intrigue, that's all you need. But yeah, so this is going to be a long one. So now we'll talk about a bit of love, a bit of true love there. Then we go into a match where
there's
no love lost between these two. We're talking about the return of Edge, his first competitive match in 9 years. One-on-one against the Randy Orton.
A match which was longer than both of these podcasts combined.
Yeah. So look at the timing.
36 minutes. A match that could have been just 26. They could have cut 10 minutes off this match.
I don't know why it was that long. But anyway, talk about this. The build-up.
The build was fantastic.
Very. The whole bit with the concerto, the bit when he turned on him, or whole stuff we're family, we love. He uses every your best friends and turns on him, and it's using both characters. Edge is obviously going to be sympathetic because he's a returning legend, and obviously Randy Orton is at his best when he's an absolute dick. So this was obviously going to work. In the sense of
everyone's they invested in Edge's journey. It's been 9 years. He has grit. He comes back, bloody amazing. When we were at the walkabout, not the arena, but the walkabout, everyone just absolutely lost their shit when Edge came out.
Yeah, it was another the Wrestle was it the Hardys returned to WrestleMania 33? Yes, 33. I remember that it was just the same thing marked out.
Love a mark out moment. On Raw, it's teased about Rated RKO getting back together. RKO, Concerto. The segment as well after Raw went off the air, and I've talked about this as well, I almost had a bloody tear in my eye, this thing, where you've got Rey Mysterio there, you've got Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins there, R-Truth's there, they're loading Edge into the ambulance. Edge calls Natty to call Beth, and this is mixture of it's blurring the lines between fiction and reality. It's brilliant. Edge goes away for a bit. Everyone misses Edge. They do a whole angle with Randy Orton. Like, why did you do it? Why did you do it? Doesn't give an answer. Matt Hardy wants an answer. He's beaten down twice. Beth Phoenix delivers an update, and you just know that she's going to get an RKO. You know, Randy Orton doing the whole thing about, I love your kids and I love Edge more than you ever did. Like, Jesus Christ, Orton.
I love them more than you can ever could, and it's just like, I love the way they used it in a promo package, like, you know, proper push that. But yeah, I mean, and then obviously that promo of Edge, like saying, I've got grit. You know, you're just jail. I've worked my ass off to get where I need to get back, and you've everything's been handed to you. It's like the old, like, he's privileged, I'm the working man. Came
from a single parent, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the documentary, I mean, is it 24? Yeah, it's a 24. Yeah, I was watching that beforehand because obviously everyone was talking about it, and I thought, well, I've got some time to kill for part 2, so I watched it, and I
love Edge.
It's an awesome story. Yeah, I've always loved. I mean, seriously, if I was going to say one of my 2 favorite wrestlers of all time,
they're absolutely in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, Edge is just like, he was always, when I was watching, when he was on the height of the Rated R Superstar stuff, I loved. He was my favorite. Yeah, it's my. I obviously don't use crude favorite wrestler stuff, but he was the ultimate opportunist. You know, any way to win. Sort of like, people look up to heels, for faces. I look up to heels. Loved it. I loved that it was going up. It's like, well, if he can think his way out of any situation, maybe I can. I don't know, but I loved it. So, but yeah, I mean, but the story was set up not quite nicely. Question is, did the 36-minute long last man standing match?
It had scope to. It certainly had room. It certainly had time to include additional elements. So I like the change of scenery and actually going back in the performance center and fighting much like. Even though I preferred the brawls between Gargano and Ciampa, you know, where Ciampa throws a weight at Gargano and it smashes the gym mirror. That was awesome. Jumping off that platform from the announce table, that was great. I thought they were going to do something a bit like that, but it wasn't as brutal. It was kind of like just dragging it along. Let's go to the next bit. The pacing was like kind of the same throughout.
It felt a bit weird.
It starts off strong. So Randy Orton disguises himself, I think, as the cameraman. RKO. Okay, wants to end it straight away. But Edge is smart.
And then tries to get back into it.
Rolls out the ring. They brawl backstage through the gym. Bit of a controversial moment in this.
What's it? They're using the wire.
Using the gym equipment on the weights machines to choke Edge. Little bit. Did anyone think that through?
Especially when a certain documentary about a certain person came out a week ago.
Surely they thought of that. They knew. They must have known. That can't have thrown over someone's heads. I mean, they sacked Daniel Bryan, you know, for choking someone with a tie. You know, it's like...
It's... I gotta be honest, I missed that one. But I guess it was, for me, sadly watching this WrestleMania, I've done the sort of thing where it's sort of like you're watching it, but because it's like you're not as invested, not because the story's bad, but because of like the sort of because there's no crowd, so it doesn't really get your attention. Sometimes you can sort of like, you know, drift. So I sort of like that went over the top of my head. I wasn't really thinking that when I saw that. I was just thinking, oh, that's pretty cool.
I thought that's Chris Benoit.
Yeah, did you say his name?
Shit, sorry.
Say his name. Though I'm really tempted to put a bleep in.
What for saying Chris Benoit?
Imagine if I did that. It's like, yeah, to be fair, I could.
Chris Benoit.
There you go. Stops any chance of me doing that. But yeah, I mean, at the top of my head, but again, I wasn't really thinking of that. I was just thinking it was a cool, interesting idea. But then now, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that might have not looked good. But again, it was just dragging along. I mean, I like the there was you went to the back of the WrestleMania sign, just chucking each other, you know, the usual stuff. kind of liked the bit. Like, it was obviously an accident, but it looked really cool. If you didn't notice, when they were right in the back, I think
Yes,
they accidentally tripped up the
I
cameraman.
like that.
I think obviously I know for a fact that's not. If that was planned,
It looked good,
top notch. But if it wasn't, it's cool because it's like it feels like I like that because it feels like it's like it feels like a bit more gritty, a bit more real. Because it's like fighting, and even the cameraman
and they have to chase because like we don't know where they're going next, so they have to find another rogue cameraman. Like, just go there, try and follow it, and they.
Like cut. Oh crap! Who's near? Oh, you.
Yeah.
Cut. Yeah, go.
Run.
But I mean, when you get, as always have like his cool moments in these matches. He had the bit where he done the elbow drop from. I think he was using a lot of parkour type.
Yeah,
stuff,
the elbow drop when like one of the steel cage kind of meshes above the meeting room area. I was like, I've never seen that before. Like putting a steel cage mesh on top of the ladder. Is like, all right, not a ladder, table. Yeah.
What probably happened is the conference table when he. Okay, I mean, I just kind of like that because it's just maybe that me might have learned that from doing all the training for like getting up to these match, like a little part. Because, I mean, I know it's like technically that strength test because it's obviously staying in a position and you can with that kind of strength. But I kind of liked it because just again parkour, it just feels like there's a uniqueness to it. It got weird when we got to the backstage area. When the proper backstage where they put everything like with the garage area, with, like the equipment.
But just going back to like when they were going through the corridors, like almost through the medical bit, I'm like, oh, okay, we know Randy's history with like pliers and screwdrivers and things. Is he gonna do some like fucked up shit with like a scalpel or something? I don't know. Maybe. But when they were going through, when they had all the posters on the wall of like previous WrestleManias and other events, what would have been quite nice is it's like a little trip down memory lane, just a little kind of Easter egg, where they're dragging. Obviously, they're transitioning to get one place to the other, clearly. So it'd been quite nice to, dragging through there, but other things to look at. So posters on the wall, so you've got like New Year's Revolution, like 2006 or something, where Edge wins the World Championship. You've got where Edge wins the Royal Rumble. There's something like that. Little shouts to like historical moments. Maybe in like pay-per-views where Rated RKO won or lost the tag team championships. Something like that. That would have been very nice. That'd be a nice little detail.
Yeah, but again, it's like the thing you were saying with the AJ Styles and Undertaker matches. Again, it's a situation. It's probably didn't have enough time to think that much detail.
Well, Bray Wyatt did it.
So cool.
Bray Wyatt thought of all the detail.
I like
there was time. Surely.
But it's Bray Wyatt, man. Bray Wyatt's a different level.
Yeah.
I mean, and also you got to, I don't know. I it's just little details, but I think that's kind of meta for us, I think. But I mean, again, we're missing like all kinds of stuff, pushed him when he got to the stage back in the ring, pushed him off, like landed really awkwardly. But then obviously we get back to the bit when they're in I think it's the parking lot. Yeah, I think it's
like an additional backstage area. Yeah. Yeah,
and then obviously it's just like the same thing, putting it to the chairs, tables, all kinds of weapons.
Giant ass ladder as well. Do you see the size of that thing?
Oh, do you mean the thing that was like ridiculously tall?
The ladder. Yeah, it was massive. This thing, because I'm expecting like
that was nuts.
Surely someone can't jump off there. I'm half expecting the camera to pan up and Jeff Hardy's on the top and delivering a Swanton bomb. But underneath the ladder, there was a table just full of like snacks, like candy. It's like, okay,
why did he have that ladder? It makes no sense.
It was a huge ladder.
I don't know, not for the sense of the.
Yeah.
Not for the sense of the match, but for the sort of ability of the show, like the actual like running of the whole performance center. Like, I'm obviously health and safety here. I mean, come on, it's just not viable. It's too big. Come on,
that is far too big.
But that's just a sort of a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, again, obviously there was all kind of stuff, and they moved up to the bit where they were near the truck, the NXT truck. Ironically, there was a car parked next to it, so they could maybe go up.
Oh, very conveniently placed.
Yes, and obviously then when it got up to the top of track, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Sort of the bit where it's sort of like Edge,
after Randy tried to attempt the punt. Yep.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was looking at it going, I was like, I want to, because obviously you know how completely demented my head is. I really wanted to see the punt.
I wanted to see the punt. I wanted Brandy to punt Beth.
I knew if they hit.
That's how sick I am in the head. That's what I wanted to happen. But she got an RKO.
As I said, you know, demented minds, mate.
Yeah.
You know, we're just really sick in the head.
That's what I want.
But well, I am anyway. But yeah. But when I didn't want him to hit in some ways because I knew if he hit it, that'd be it. And I didn't want Randy to win here. I wanted Edge to win. But yeah, I mean, obviously we can talk about every beat for beat this whole match because obviously it's 36 minutes. There's so much.
We can talk about the end is quite easy to go through. So you've got the punt counted into a spear, you've got another spear counted into an RKO, and then you've got Randy getting some chairs, setting up for the concerto, which is countered by Edge's choke, which he did on MVP. So okay, little callback to little something he did a couple of weeks ago. And then a very conflicted Edge, like, does he deliver the concerto to pretty much, could end Randy Orton's career. Very, very conflicted.
I like the facial expressions of it. It's just like a man torn up inside. And it's just, but then it's like you can see eventually when he gets closer and closer, his eyes were demented. Like, I can't, I have to do it, and he does it. Mm-hmm. And then the problem is obviously now it's like the whole thing with Randy. It's like you had a feeling he for some reason he would get up though. Yeah. Because he's like, you always saw him moving a little bit, and I was thinking, oh god, I bet he's going to get up after that. And then, but he didn't. Edge won.
Well, it makes sense. Here, I mean, why would they? As I was watching it with my cousin, who is not like a casual fan, but kind of understands and respects that this is a performance art. You know, you need to be an athlete to do it. It says, like, why in the world would they bring Edge back just for him to lose at the Royal Rumble and then lose at WrestleMania? It makes no sense. It's like, yeah, absolutely. So,
well, unless you could say that you could say that about Sting, but they did it.
That was just a pet. Again, that we know why that was, because that was just pettiness again from WWE. They just wanted to kill off like DX is WCW thing, DX is better than NWO, WWE is better than WCW. That's all it was.
Yeah, I know. I remember watching that. I was kind of disappointed with that. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about some good stuff. So, like, again, is two things about this match. As I said at the beginning, does this deliver, or was it was because of the length? It sort of
They had obviously a lot of scope to do more. I was half expecting Beth Phoenix to be involved. Maybe some other outside influence, maybe Christian there. They had scope to do more. If the match had been cut by 10 minutes, I'd say definitely live up to the hype for sure. The ending was great, but when you're on top of a tall thing, someone's got to fall off it. No, it's like whenever someone sets up a table, someone's got to go through it. Yeah,
well, it's an old wrestling thing, and you set it up, someone's going through it. If the ladder's set up, someone's going climbing it. But it's like, I have to admit, I was seeing that when on top of the truck, but I was thinking, like, I can't see anything that looks obvious, so I didn't think they'd do it. But yeah, I mean, the concerto thing was a nice touch, but I think the problem with this match is it's just so damn long, but not in a good way.
It's especially like the transitioning is like from one place to one place, but nothing massively significant. It was just more like this is the performance center. This is the little tour of the building. You know.
No, but it's like, would it be nice if it had built up? You know,
it was very methodical as well. It was very, very much Randy Orton paced. You know, it had to be that kind of. It had to be frantic. It had to have that element of Gargano and Ciampa. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping it'd have some sort of like really cool like ending where it's the last man standing. They both fall off the truck.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And then Edge just gets up to get the win, but he's finally taking him out maybe. But again, fantasy booking, mate. Fantasy booking.
But
yeah, I mean, I think. So do you think this delivered then?
I'd say so. It wasn't the. Could it have been better just being like a singles match maybe, or maybe a unsanctioned match or a street fight? That may have been a better stipulation than Last Man Standing. Although I did like the change of vibe and actually going out and fighting elsewhere in Performance Center, not just in the ring. So little change of aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it sort of delivers in some ways, but I think a lot of people might not be able to go past how long it is. And but I think it's a nice finish. There's a bit of nice callbacks. I like this. I like sort of the come up and sort of like, Randy, you gave me a concerto, I give you one. So it's sort of, it kind of like it's like sort of the end of the feud. It's quite nicely poetic in some ways.
Indeed.
But it's sort of like it all started with a concerto, and now it ends with a concerto.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I mean, again, it's like the question is now, what does Edge do after this? Because obviously I think he's on a Legends contract, so he's going to be around for like a couple more matches. So, who do you want him to go against?
They teased Edge and AJ Styles, but AJ Styles is probably taking a break for a bit. Judging from what happened from the previous night.
Well, in storyline-wise, he's technically dead.
Technically dead. Well, buried alive at least. So he might still be alive. Hopefully, Gallows and Anderson make the save. Hopefully. Who else would I see Edge go up against?
Rollins.
You've got the battle. Rollins, potentially. Buddy Murphy might be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a good thing if you want to actually put him on like a Raw.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of dream matches. I think that's what Edge is back for. I think if it works a documentary, he's not. He just wants to end on his own terms. He's not here to just take a spot. He just wants to like keep wrestling and sort of like do some cool stuff, and then sort of when he ends it, it's not because
finish what he. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean,
end on his terms. Absolutely.
It's just nice to see Edge back. I love Edge. It's just nice to see him back.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Got to see the theme we played before, and this is the beginning of part 2. Get the rated R superstar, and then like the fireworks. It's just great to see him back. I can't wait to see him like when we have the crowd back and we can have that moment again. But
that bit of pyro and the smoke.
Yeah,
be amazing.
One thing we didn't notice, I forgot to plan. It's like he didn't do the whole thing when he came out. We've also gone back.
No.
He looked weird. He walked out and he looked around. It's like he realised, oh yeah, no one's around. So he didn't really just walk down. He didn't do the. He didn't even do the.
No one's around, and plus the stake of the match, he was so focused on, I have to beat Orton. I'm out for revenge.
But oh well, I would say feud wise, it kind of delivered. But again, it's just I think it was just too long. Might put some people off.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Yeah, that was one of the notes. Unfortunately, it was one of the best builds, but far too long.
Yeah, some matches are too long.
I mean, I was really surprised. Like, you can have a match which is like not even 15 minutes. Like, I was watching The Rock and Hogan. That match went on for like, I think about 50 minutes, or like just under about 14 minutes. And it delivered. Again,
that's because of the crowd, I think. And obviously the styles are not exactly crazy, are they? Because Hogan's more of a sort of punch.
So, do you think that match would have been as long? If there was a crowd there?
I don't think it would have, because obviously I don't think they would have gone they would have done the whole like backstage stuff. I think they did it because they kind of had to make it interesting, because this is a last man standing and an empty arena. It's kind of like doesn't work. So
yeah, it couldn't just be in the ring.
No, so I think if it was like proper in like Tampa Bay and it had all stuff, I don't think it would have been a last man standing match. I think they would have done. It would have been like, as you said, no GQ, no holds bar, all that kind of stuff.
Unsanctioned, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I think the unsanctioned one would have been good, because it would have been like it's too personal for WWE to acknowledge it. So, like, I kind of like that. But yeah, I think it wouldn't have been like this. But I think they've realised they've got so much time, and they thought, well, if we let this like drag out and sort of, it might work, but. I think that was not the right call. I don't think.
No.
But anyway, yeah. So good match. I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing Edge back, and hopefully we get some more cool matches from him in the future. So
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. Well, obviously before we go into the Raw Tag Team title match, we have a new 24/7 champion.
Oh, I was hoping we didn't have to talk about this.
No, we don't have to talk about it. We just have to acknowledge it. I mean, if you don't want to, I mean, I'll just say we've got a new.
I'd rather not. Gronk and Mojo.
Yeah, gotta be honest. Their energy was. How can I put it without being harsh? I appreciate the effort of trying to make it a bit more energetic. I mean, I did like in part one when they sort of when you're doing the yes chants, they were doing the yes chants to actually make it a bit more, real, like people actually chanting it. But yeah, I mean, their energy was too weird. It was just weird. It felt too disingenuine. Is that the word?
Yeah.
But that's just maybe because I'm a miserable git.
There should have been. He shouldn't have been the host. Like, there was no reason for him to be the host. I mean, it wasn't in. He didn't grow up in like Tampa Bay or anything, or Florida. He was studied at Arizona and played for the Patriots. It had nothing to do with Florida whatsoever.
No.
So there's two things. One is like, absolutely, you don't need a host. You don't need one at all. Or, I'll let you go first. Like, who do you think would have been a good host if they had to do one this year with the theme?
I mean, if you're going to go for a theme, like, you would never do it if you're going to go for Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that would have been amazing, Johnny Depp.
Or just anyone from Pirates of the Caribbean, basically.
Yeah.
Anything from that film.
Or very simply, doesn't necessarily have to be a host, but a little cameo. Paul Burchill.
Yeah. That would have been a nice, like, if they had a backstage, the bit where they sometimes do it where all the legends come out, that, and they put...
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been cooler. It would have been cool if they do a thing like they always do sometimes, where, like, if you get The Rock, you can always get Dwayne. He's always good at his kind of stuff. Like, do a thing where he's backstage meeting all the legends or something, and then Paul Bertram comes out and just looks at him, and The Rock, they all look at him, and then the Rock just beats the crap out of him. I mean, not like, but that's just funny because yeah, but I guess, and again, it's the problem is when you've got to take a show that was supposed to be in like a 60,000 seaters stadium or something, like, pretty huge stadium, to now be in a performance center that probably can hold around about 200 max, probably. But yeah, but I wasn't loving this. I mean, but I just had to bring it up because it was a title change, so has to be said.
It was a title change.
But anyway, talking about, and then we got, as I said, we've got the World Tag Team title match between the Street Profits, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory.
It was changed last minute twice because they were going to do, I think, Andrade and Rey Mysterio, and then they changed to Andrade and Angel Garza against Street Profits, and then bringing in Austin Theory, which makes no sense, but all right, it's a nice little showcase for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, it was about a short 6-minute match, blending into 6-7 minutes. It was just like, both athletically, they were all great teams. I mean, you got Ford. You mean, the guy is basically like oozing with charisma. I mean, them whole backstage segments so work because he's so good, and he's amazing in the ring. Austin Theory did put up a good performance though in this. I've got to be honest. Yeah,
I think so. I like the work of Angel Garza too. I like what he's been doing on NXT with Leo Rush in particular. And when he was called up to the main roster to cover Andrade, they basically just kind of kept him there. It's like, yeah, you're pretty good, man. You can stay. Which is nice.
I can imagine that. But, thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, again, it's just like one of these things. It just started off with... just sort of the finish was good. I mean, you just had a Ford hitting that really amazing frog splash he does. I mean, I remember seeing the kind of height he can get on that one. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, again, this match was always going to be a situation where you never really saw. If you'd done a title change in this one, it would make no sense in the sense of just doing it because you need a bit of a shock.
Again, you'd be killing the tag team division again.
Yeah.
Same problems of just two people who've never worked together and they randomly win the tag titles. Unless those two people are world champions, as I've said before, it's not credible and it makes your tag team look crap.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, obviously this match is at the end. They've done a thing that don't we do is like the beat down. Because obviously the heel team beat down the face team, and where obviously you saw there was like Serena Vega came in and sort of like was attacking them, and then there's like 3-on-1. You were just waiting for it. Someone's gonna turn up. Someone's gonna turn up. Wait for it. Wait for it.
For it. And who turns up? It's Montez Ford's wife.
Wait, what? I didn't.
They are married.
I didn't know
it is
that.
Montez Ford is married to. It is Montez Ford, right?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, you're telling me? I think so. I mean, that could.
It is Montez Ford.
That could totally explain why, when what was it when she came and saved them, and then you just got Montez Ford looking at her in a way that sort of felt like, I don't know, like flirting in some way, like sort of like, like looking at Bianca Belair going, damn, like sort of looking at him in that kind of flirty way. If they're together, that's how it makes sense.
They are, yeah. Married to fellow professional Bianca Belair.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Well, that explains everything. So, but yeah, that was a cool thing. I mean, I'm assuming that means she's a part of Raw now, or they're just doing it for WrestleMania thing. But
I hope it's Raw.
I mean,
that'd be a nice dynamic.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Like a sort of like a 6-man tag or 6 intergender type match. Could work. Because Zelina Vega is actually really good in the ring. She just never gets to show it.
Nope.
But that could work. But this was, it was good. It was fine. It was one of these things that they're both good tag teams. They both worked off well, of high-fiving, sort of energetic type stuff. And it kind of worked. But again, this didn't really have a story to it. It's more of just an exhibition match sort of type vibe to it.
Yeah, put together. Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like now we're near the end of this, like, what was it now, 2-man matches left?
3. Well, it depends. It technically, there's 3, but some might argue that one of them wasn't particularly a match.
Well, that's getting to level.
Well, then you could technically say 2 of them weren't matches, depending on your outlook.
Yeah, but it was a match, so they don't know anything. I'm just saying. So from the Raw Tag Team title match to now go into the SmackDown Women's Elimination match, but with the title on the line that was set up by Paige, a random Paige appearance because reasons.
It was nice to see her back on SmackDown. I assuming having her job back, which she was just fired from, even though she was doing a really good job.
What do you mean, like the sort of like the thing where they realised that the shows aren't working? And they sort of like redone with SmackDown. We're like, no, it wasn't SmackDown, it was Raw.
It's like, no, it was Raw's problem. It's like, SmackDown must be the same. No,
and then Paige
SmackDown was doing it right.
Then she got sacked, and then she came back as a manager, and then she got turned on, and then she went away, and now she's back. Yep. And I've also heard rumours that maybe it's just because everyone's coming back from career-ending injuries that she might be coming back.
She might be coming back.
But
I'll
again,
be open to that.
But yeah, anyway, But that'd be cool. But anyway, she's set up this match where Bayley was go against 5 other competitors. You're talking about Tamina, Lacey Evans.
4 other competitors, yeah.
Yeah, Lacey. My bad. Was it so? Sasha Banks, Tamina.
Damn it, Stu, your maths.
Funny, you're funny.
Here I am.
Oh God, you're not supposed to say that anyway. You got so it's Sasha Banks, Tamina, Lacey Evans, and Naomi.
And the story was, is Sasha going to turn on Bayley? Is Bayley going to turn on Sasha? Who knows? But as Sasha teased earlier in the night, it's like, we're just going to have to wait and see. Ooh.
And that pretty much was the whole match. Basically, that was the whole pretty much tease, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The match was quite fun, though. They started off trying to get rid of the strong threat of Tamina. Obviously, she won the triple threat match a couple of days ago on SmackDown. So she's got the momentum. They all team up on her. All produce splashes from the top rope and eliminate her.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I have to admit, adding this up in a prediction, how did you... because obviously if they're all pinning her...
Yeah.
How did it... was it hard to figure out who pinned?
Technically everyone pinned her, so...
I guess you went for the person who went for the pin first, so...
Well, technically, it's registered that everyone pinned her on various sources. It's like, oh, okay. So I guess...
Who are these sources? I'm joking. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the eliminations went the way that I would think it would go, where Tamina went, and then obviously Naomi went. I was thinking, I'm sure I put a prediction with Lacey Evans would be the last one. Or second to last. Well, I thought she'd be the last one because I thought Sasha Banks and Bayley would be the last 2, and it'd be like a fight between those 2.
Yep, as did most people are.
But it obviously didn't work that way because obviously they have a thing where basically they're both double teaming Lacey Evans, and I think they were arguing and all stuff, and then Lacey went for what's that finish the big
women's right
or whatever.
Yeah,
women's right, and obviously hit Sasha Banks.
Yeah,
knocked her out. And then she pinned her, and then she's out, and then Bayley's like, "Oh crap, I've lost my backup now."
Yeah.
And then and it was just the match was basically like working on the arm that they worked on earlier, and it was just that. I noticed one thing in the camera angle that when I was Bayley, it was like they kept. I just noticed that Sasha Banks was still laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Because obviously normally they go to the back.
Usually.
So when I saw that, like she was still laying on the back, like she's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought to myself, then she's got to be involved in the finish somehow, right? Like she's going to turn on Bayley, or she's going to do what happened. Where she's basically like it's like she's going to go for the women's right. Lacey Evans looks like she was going to maybe go on for the win, but Sasha Banks came from behind it, the backstabber. Yeah, and she went. Then what was it? Bayley went for the pin and got the win. So it's Bayley found a way to win again.
Bayley won the match. She escapes typical heel fashion. Is this the start of a slow build to what they actually finally do? A Sasha and Bayley rivalry, which they should have done like years ago.
But they done the slow build last time and it turned to nothing. So I'm holding my breath for this one. So I mean, we'll talk about the match though. I mean, it was actually surprisingly good. It was good, like pacing.
I thought it was well paced. Yeah, for sure.
I think I realised from this that Naomi is hugely wasted. But she looked really. I thought she done a great showing in it. Reminded me why people rate her really well.
Yeah, I saw her when she tapped out to the bank statement. It was, I don't know why, but it kind of read to me as if it was like a half-assed kind of tap. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm out. Oh, typical.
Yeah, I mean, I just
it looked that way. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just like, again, she's really good. She's really amazing, athletic in the ring, and it's just they could do something with her. But again, it's just this sort of more of a, when they do these multi-women matches, they just stick her in there because she's like, I don't want to say the Kofi in the group, but she's like the Kofi where she can do the big spots, she can do the big moves and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you could even say she is because she done the Kofi spot at Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she, I think she really is like the Kofi Kingston sort of fight. She put good matches. She's really good and athletic, but they're never going to really push her to a point where that matches her ability. It's quite sad.
I think it's going to build to a point where it's quite a fitting subject. Where does she eventually just like have enough? Because she's kind of been, especially recently, like visually kind of frustrated. I mean, you just have to look at her reaction when Santina Morella enters the Royal Rumble, and her face just reads like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
She must be thinking, "What's she doing?" I mean, they're not. You're just but it's just I noticed that when I was watching this match was like, because obviously she's just come back and I'm like, wow, she really is as good. I forgot how much how good she's in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, I always one thing. Also, one thing they forgot, they had a free team bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going into, like the potential heel turn thing, and then that little faction kind of reminder, like a little homage to Team Bad.
Totally forgot they existed. Not because of that, because it's just like that whole thing where they had like they were starting the revolution then, and it was all like instead of putting them all one by one, they all put them in teams. Yeah, really weird.
For no reason.
Yeah, because they just kept putting them in. I don't know, but yeah, I mean Bayley. I mean, again, she's the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. Again, that's good, I guess.
Yes.
And I mean, again, her character, what is it? Is it working?
Well, her whole thing is feel the glow, and I think she. I don't know, because the fans haven't turned on her.
We're talking about Bayley.
But she's definitely. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just before I say like more talking about.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about Naomi still.
No, no. Sorry, man.
Oh, screw Naomi then.
No. I mean, trying to go into it, you know. Sorry, man. Just like I thought you knew. But yeah, so I mean, see what they won't turn on it because obviously wrestler fans like people that like we respect people that are really good in the ring.
Yeah, but if the character goes stale.
Yeah, but
which it hasn't done yet. But she definitely needs an opportunity.
Yeah, but again, it's like
for sure.
What's the problem with the women's division in like the main roster anyway is that they always have this thing where if you're not involved in the title, nothing else matters.
No.
So I mean, what kind of story they could do, I don't know, but they could do something. But Yeah, but anyway, back to we're talking about. I thought we were talking about Bayley. Like, does her character work? Do you think this heel turn is? I mean,
I think now it's kind of when she started off as this new heel Bayley, and the haircut and the kind of gloomy kind of persona. She had that, but then she just kept losing, and so it was kind of like, what is the point of this whole gimmick change? But now she's really kind of almost like perfected this new and improved Bayley, of like great chatting, great monologuing with the referee, that the heel tactics working together with Sasha. Yeah, it's working now. It's which sets up for that Sasha as the face and Bayley as the heel, which you'd think it'd be the other way around if they were doing a potential feud.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it works. I mean, I think it's just I think what I like about it in a sense is she's just winning. I know this sounds like a really simple thing to do, but if a character changes because they're not winning, when the character has to win, so it justifies them changing their character.
Absolutely.
But they're actually doing it, so I give them props for that. They're actually it shows that it was a good idea to change a character.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, if you look at, but anyway, yeah. So, but looks like the next thing for them is they're going to build up hopefully slow build for finally having a Bayley versus Sasha Banks match. Please, just please.
Please.
If you ask nicely, do you think they'll do it?
Oh, come on! They've got to now. Like, Sasha wins Money in the Bank. Come on, it sets up nicely.
If it happens, of course. Touch wood.
Money in the Banks. Come on.
Yeah, well, obviously, as you said, if it happens, because I have some weird stuff that he might have to cancel the event.
Well, they might cancel the event or just do it again at the Performance Center. I wouldn't be surprised.
If you've done it at the Performance Center with this, I'd be fine with it, because obviously it's not WrestleMania.
No. It'll be fine, but so long as the cash-in actually happens when you've got an audience there.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be soon.
Because you need to have that payoff.
I think it's one thing. I cannot wait when we can all watch it. We can all go to wrestling shows again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be great. It might get the crowd like appreciating it, maybe. I mean, not saying we don't, but it's like it could be a situation where you think, well, it was gone for a couple of months, so maybe.
I think the crowd's going to be hot, or try to be hot, unless the story they're delivering is utter crap. You know, that they should have a good and appreciative audience the first show they're back. I think. Yeah.
But I think it only lasted too long. I think it'd be like, oh yes, we're back, we appreciate it. And one bad storyline. It'd be like, oh, boo, this sucks. Yeah, we're turning.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, good.
But hopefully then they play off that, because then we missed that.
Yeah, maybe the kick in the backside they need. But yeah. So now we get to the fun part. No pun intended. Actually, that was totally a part.
The funhouse part.
Yes. Oh, I remember this match was a match that when you saw it, you Facebook messaged me and says, that's a lot to analyse. Mm-hmm. That's going to be fun.
Yes, there is a lot here. There is a lot.
So we start, obviously we're talking about the Firefly Funhouse match between The Fiend, Bray Wyatt and John Cena. Mm-hmm. I have to admit, guys, I had no idea how the hell were they going to do this.
When they said the Firefly Funhouse match, I had like two things in mind. One was like potential like a street fight kind of thing, which I thought they were going to do when John Cena first came out to the ring. I'm like, oh, that's a shame. Or they were going to do something similar to when that god awful match of Bray and Randy, and what match was it? Firefly Street Fight, whatever it was.
House of Horrors or something like that.
House of Horrors match. That was horrible.
Yeah, but I thought they were going to go that route, but I didn't know what to expect. But I mean, I can't. Again, it's like really cool when John Cena came out and he sort of done the whole. He looked around going, okay, he done it around, and then he was like, welcome to WrestleMania. And then the cool thing where it's just like hijack, and then I mean the whole transition was cool, and I do like the idea that this is like it felt like an entrance to like a demonic world. Yeah,
into a demonic world that's like Alice in Wonderland. You know, is it real or is it all in your head?
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's what it looked like. I like the sort of like like Bray doing his Bray stuff because he's got this character down to a T now, and and then it's just the walk in. and then it was like John Cena was all cocky going into this, but then when he got there, and I think it was like he walked through that door and he saw that the Vince puppet saying, "Have you got ruthless aggression?" And his face
Ruthless
was like,
aggression. Yeah.
What the hell is
what
this?
What the hell? Yeah.
And after that, I've skipped like probably half of the stuff just by talk before he even walked through the room.
There is a lot, and just coming in and you see nostalgia. Not only it's John Cena's debut, but that SmackDown fist. I missed that.
Give them credit, man. They actually got that. They actually made that work. I think.
Love the SmackDown fist.
Again, it's like the whole thing was like the cut scenes as well, like sort of like the sort of like glitchy things was really cool as well, where it's like it shows that they're doing. Again, it feels like you in when I think of it now, I thought it was like like Spider-Man Mysterion, where it's sort of like hallucinations type thing, where it's just like you think everything's real, but it's not. So it felt like this whole thing felt like it was, as you said, a character study, and it was all in. It's like he's all in his head. Because it's like flashbacks of his career, and Bray's in his head, like literally in his head. I think that's what they were going for. I think
someone did like an analysis of what the Firefly Funhouse was, and when Bray Wyatt said at the beginning, like, John Cena, you're going to go up against your scariest opponent yet. It wasn't the Fiend, that's himself, and this was this whole match. And some people go, it's not a match, it's a segment. Doesn't matter. I fucking loved it. It was basically a character study of all of John Cena's worst fears. And I remember watching the Ruthless Aggression documentary, the one with John Cena, and it begins with John Cena saying that anyone who remembers my debut, it was a complete failure. And people thinking, like, what are you talking about? Like, because you only remember John Cena debuting against Angle, and then he was a rap star, and then he went into WrestleMania 20, beat the Big Show, and then 21 beating JBL. It's like, oh no, he had a whole thing of months and months. He was going to be released in November, December, until he came up with this new gimmick, because at the moment he was just bland babyface who just wore the colour of the hometown sports team.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember that. It's just like that explains why watching back, it's just all of a sudden he starts rapping.
Yeah, it's but it's the whole thing. It's about is John Cena's worst fears, and that's making a bad, like, worst fears and failure, I think it was. So making a bad debut. When they did the main event kind of segment, they tried to do reference to John Cena like a Hulk Hogan kind of thing, not putting people over and all sorts. His history with bodybuilding, his rap career not taking off, and jumping ahead like even further is when they tried to kind of rewrite WrestleMania 30. What would happen if John Cena actually did hit Bray Wyatt with a chair, and that he should have turned heel, hence why they did the whole Bischoff and Hogan NWO thing.
I thought that was a very like that felt like it reminded me of that talk the thing they were talking about when he was first going against The Rock. Mm-hmm. Apparently he was supposed to turn heel. He had all these like white and black and white sort of gear set up. He was supposed to turn heel for that feud. So when I saw that, I was like, why don't you go back to the NWO? And then I thought to myself, oh, maybe that's like a meta version of that. Sort of like if he did turn heel.
Like, if he did turn heel, this would have been, this is what it would have been like. Siding with management. And then just beating down Bray afterwards, and all the flashbacks of all of his failures, like all the big ones. So losing the unified title to Randy Orton, losing it to CM Punk, getting beaten by The Undertaker at WrestleMania, losing to The Rock at WrestleMania, all these failures until he realizes he's wailing on Huskus the Pig Boy. Bray is gone, or is he gone? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I think there was a bit when he was talking about like the bit where like how was it how many chances, like we sound like he's overhyped and all that stuff. I think I like the bit Bray was like, how many chances, and he's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
You take people's worst fears and sort of
you mock them,
and,
yeah,
like, take the mick out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a line he said that was like, if I wish he has it, like, I can't remember. I don't think I can find it now, but it's something about you're like was it like a slut or something? You're like your feed, or you're like something like that. It was a really cool line, that really worked on.
Two of the best lines I think in this whole thing. One was the Vince McMahon puppet going, "This is some good shit," you know. There's that, but also when they were doing the ruthless aggression thing, where Bray was playing Kurt Angle, John Cena's trying to slap him, keeps missing, tried to slap him, misses him again. What does Bray sing? "You can look, but you can't touch." Oh, that was good. That was really good. It's like context.
This whole thing was great,
brilliant.
And then near the end, where it's just like, it's like an overload.
Yeah.
It's like all this stuff, and he's like, and then he's punching. Was it Husky the pig?
Yep.
And then obviously and then he saw what it was doing.
Yep.
Because he turned on him after the sort of like the NWO thing, and then it's just the bit right at the end when he's on his knees, like Bray's broken.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just when you think, and then all of a sudden, that, again, they do this camera work really well, where it's like all of a sudden, it's like the Fiend rises from the ashes.
Yeah.
It's like, so far, like, yeah, you thought, I am the embodiment of fear.
Exactly.
And then obviously, turns up, hits the was it Sister Abigail? Yeah. And then he obviously the mandible claw to knock him out. 1, and then 2,
3, counted by Mr. Rogers' version of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just I get it because it's not a traditional match, because it's not in a ring, it hasn't got a ref, but it's like, again, it's the work they put into it, the detail they put into it, the whole sort of like it's the kind of thing you would, like when you go on YouTube and you find these people do essays on like characters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you know how awesome they are, because it's like it looks into detail. Mm-hmm. They've basically done that with John Cena.
Mm-hmm. This is a character study. It's also like a season finale as well. Like, all this shit has happened. They reference all of it, and now it's all going to pay off now. Will the bad guy get his revenge?
Yeah, well, it depends how you look at it, isn't it? That's what I love about it. It's like,
who's the bad guy?
The bad guy didn't win. So that's what I mean. It's like,
who is the bad guy?
I just loved it, because it's just, the question is, I think, because of the meta of it and all the look of like in jokes and all, sort of like the way it looked at it. If you looked at it as like a piece of film or a piece of art, and you compare, you said beforehand, you said sort of comparing it to the Undertaker AJ match, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you look at it as a match, like physically, like you got two different cinematic type wrestling matches. Here. You've got ones that look at just like for like an action, a finale to an action movie, and then this one feels like a
psychological thriller, psychological horror.
Yeah, like it's just like, right at the end when you find out who the killer is, and it's like it's like everyone's putting all the dots, and everyone looks into it, and then you go through the whole film realizing, yeah.
But then the plot twist is the good guy's the bad guy all along.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like. Yeah,
and he doesn't realize it. Yeah,
but I mean, I've it's just really good. I mean, I haven't. You've watched it back already, I haven't yet. So I might after.
I've watched it back twice, and I'll probably watch it again.
Yeah, I think again, this is another example. I think it was after this match, and obviously Undertaker's match. Matt Hardy, they got a lot of people tweeted Matt Hardy, and obviously it said like praising him for this kind of, because obviously he sort of, and the guy that directed it sort of started this kind of like cinematic sort of like wrestling matches.
Yes,
I think there's a place for them now, because they're not as good. Some people might not like it, because obviously Jim Cornette definitely won't. Doesn't like gimmicks.
I am looking forward to that review. I really am, of him just absolutely shitting on it. I love listening to him just shit on Orange Cassidy. It's great. And anything that he hates, I tend to love. Because the problem with Jim Cornette, it's clearly obvious that he's very stubborn. He believes there's only one way of doing things. There's only one way of doing professional wrestling. It's like, well, it's not. You can do anything. It just depends how it's presented.
Yeah, but I think that's why people like
rules?
But I think that's why I like his audience, though. That's why it works for podcast form, because everyone loves listening to a guy rant. Let's be honest. It is fun to rant about stuff. But the problem with him, he has no place in the wrestling business in the sense of booking anymore. or being involved in it in that way. He's good at being the sort of like reminisce of like and what he doesn't like, but he's too. I don't want to. Jaded, the right word? Yeah, sort of jaded in the sense that he because he comes across as bitter. You couldn't put him in a wrestling company because wrestling's so different now. There's so many different ways of doing it. You can have high flying. You can have you can have comedy matches like this. Like this is wrestling. It's just different kind of wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I love it. I mean, I love character, deep rooted, like, and looking into characters, because they don't do it enough in WWE, like wrestling. It needs more of it.
This was proper long-term booking, I guess, if they'd planned this through. But there's, because they actually reference, because a lot of, as you know, wrestlers, whether it's all the bumps they take, they tend to forget some things. I think the best example of like remembering history and backstory has just been the Shield, when Seth turned on the Shield, tried to reunite with Dean Ambrose, and Dean like, I've not forgotten, and that whole storyline's like, will the Shield get back together? Which they finally did. It was an amazing moment, but they actually remembered, oh yeah, that shit happened.
Yeah, they actually acknowledge it. It's like, I think unfortunately with wrestling sometimes forget, they sometimes use the soap aspect sometimes too much, where they sort of do the whole, like, in soaps all of a sudden you can have, like, they have this thing where the guy murders someone and then, like, they hate each other, and then a couple of months later they're still in the same street talking to each other. They totally forget what just happened. Like, they like sweep it under the rug. And in wrestling they do that sometimes as well, like, sort of like all of a sudden it's like you were rivals, bitter rivals like a month ago, and all of a sudden now you're tag team with no repercussions.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, but we could talk about this all day. It's good stuff. As Vince said, it's good shit.
Good shit.
Oh, good.
What's the next match? Good shit.
Let's get into that. Okay.
Let's get into that, shall we? The result was good.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we are talking about the main event of Night 2. The WWE Championship match between the champion, again, let's not make him champion, Brock Lesnar.
Hopefully this is the final time, and then he's just eventually just used just as an exhibition.
Yes.
Let people challenge Brock and see if they can beat him.
And against the 2020 Royal Rumble winner, Drew McIntyre. In his first, I think it's his first WWE title match, because I don't think he ever had one when he was the chosen one.
I think he had like a few maybe number one contender matches, perhaps, but he never had an opportunity in a match for the title.
No, I mean, I like the build up to this in the sense of like the promo packages they done was cool. They did this really cool thing the BT Sport did. Like, I think he was like, they took him like the Highlands in Scotland and done him like making it like a proper training, like proper like Scottish warrior type stuff. Properly going for the sort of, badass he is. The cool thing is I really like the sort of like, I saw something on Facebook, they acknowledged the sort of like walkabout Glasgow stuff. Like when they freaked out.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, I saw on Hooked on Wrestling's Facebook, they actually acknowledge him. It's cool for them because obviously that's here. We go to those events. And then it's like they're in WWE's like documentary of it. I mean, the problem is I feel so sorry because of this whole thing. There was a moment there you knew when we watched this in the walkabout, that place would have gone nuts when Drew won. Yeah.
If only there was a crowd. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I feel really happy for Drew, but at the same time I feel really sad to him. Because I know he had like millions of like people like watching at home. Yeah, you've got that aspect, but that live crowd, that pop, maybe even something. What would have been awesome? Maybe that afterwards at the end, he's just in the ring on his own, and he celebrates. Like just get something like, even like if you're worried about like distancing, just get some of the superstars, especially the face superstars, maybe around the ring. Just give him a round of applause because he's fucking earned that. I mean, that would have been lovely.
I know, but it just felt. Again, it was just this is the if anyone was like I've talked about in that part 1 and there's part 2 and sort of like suffered because of the coronavirus thing and not being able to do stuff like because it's in the performance center. But this is the one that suffered the most. Because if you looked at the match, it was just simple. It was what they do always, like the Goldberg matches the night prior, where it's just finishing moves after finishing moves after finishing moves, kickouts after kickouts after kickouts.
Yeah.
Brock hit. I mean, there was a cool bit where like the bell rang and basically like hit a Claymore from out of nowhere. Brock kicked out, and then you've got Brock gets back into it, and then he hits an F5, and he kicks out, and Drew kicks out a 1. That was really cool. I like that. Shows that this guy is not like everybody else.
Yeah, you knew where it was going. So kick out, here we go. The third one was like, okay, this is a little bit worrying. And then kick out. And then I knew how it was going to go. It was going to be Claymore. Okay, you're going to do spam 3 finishes at the same time, then go for the pin. I knew what was coming. I'm bored of these matches now.
Because they've done to death. Because obviously Brock.
They're done to death. Yeah, that's all he can do. Well, not he can do. It's all that he wants to do. I find it incredibly lazy. It is incredibly lazy.
Yeah, I think the problem with Brock Lesnar is the situation of just sometimes we forget the guy isn't a complete dick. He isn't.
No, because he's been for the last couple of years he's been putting people over, which is great.
He's a good guy. But it's because yeah,
but he can. But surely you could put the matches like with. Obviously, excluding the first half of the Daniel Bryan match Survivor Series. So look at examples like his recent one was Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins retained the title. Won the title back from Brock, and then the classic one with AJ Styles. Like that's what you can do, Brock. Watching back the match against CM Punk, it's like that's what you can do. You can still have those you can still have those German suplexes and the F5s. But if those are the only 2 moves you do, like I just know what to expect. It's just boring.
Yeah, I think what they won't, but what they could utilize this as sort of like a way of reinvigorating him, like sort of let him go away for a bit and then stop giving him the title off. And that's the problem. It wouldn't be a problem if it was just the match. Yeah, because the problem is that none of these matches have story. It's the same story. That's the problem. It's not really the style. It's more of the story behind it. Because the story's always the same. Brock's got the title. I'm amazing. He's a monster. He's a killer. You will not win. And then someone wins. It's the same story we've been doing for the last 3 years.
Yep.
So I think what will be good if they his next feud is a feud that doesn't involve the title and has a bit more substance to it.
Give him. He can wrestle the big guys. He can wrestle Keith Lee. He can wrestle Walter, Dominik Dijakovic, all those guys. And my God, if he can pull off something like Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic do, Jesus Christ, that would be brilliant.
I think he could. I just think with Brock, it's like I remember when he first came back, I loved it, but that's because he wasn't in the title. But ever since he's won the titles, like when he become champion, that's when it's gone downhill. Yeah. So maybe it's time to, step back and just let him just
stop giving him and part-timers titles. It doesn't help establish new stars.
I mean, you can still do that. Just don't give him titles. Give him a feud, like a proper one.
Yeah, a feud's fine, but just don't give him the world title. It doesn't help anyone.
No. It just feels like it's a rush sometimes, anyway. But obviously now we've got Drew's now a champion.
Which is amazing.
You obviously we talked about the earlier on with the sort of was it Scottish faction type thing. We now Drew's now WWE champion.
Yeah, you've got Gallus, the NXT UK Tag Champions, Kaylee Ray's the NXT UK Women's Champion, and obviously Nikki Cross is one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions.
As I said, we'd love to see that, man.
Mm-hmm. All that's missing is Noam Dar. With the Cruiserweight title. There we go.
Oh. Stop giving WWE ideas,
But it's a good idea.
I know it's a good idea, but we wouldn't give them credit.
Yeah, they don't listen to good ideas. We know.
No. Anyway, but you have a Drew's champion. It's funny he did it. The question is it's nice. One, the WWE title was back on a full-timer again. So the question is, let's hope they don't make the same mistake they've done previous, where they build up this guy and then when he gets a title, it dies off a little bit. But yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy for him that he won it because
I'm really happy for Drew,
the first British-born WWE champion.
Yep.
finally did it.
Finally.
And there was no one to see it.
And there was no one to see. So technically it didn't count, so Brock Lesnar's still champion.
Oh man, it's like, is it like that saying where it's like when a tree falls on the floor and no one's there, does it really make a sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially what this feels like, right? No crowd, no reaction. Did it really happen? Nope. But yeah, so that was night 2. So the question out of this is obviously, is it better than night 1?
I preferred this to night 1. Even though in terms of pacing, the only thing that let it down was the last man, which I kind of forgave a bit because of the feud going in and everything. Just running down very quickly, Charlotte and Ripley was lovely, solid way to open, could have ended either way. Black and Bobby Lashley didn't have to be there, but Black won, so that's not bad. Otis would have been a lovely WrestleMania moment anyway, but would have been great with the crowd. The Street Profits and Angel Garza and Austin Theory, there was never going to be a title change, but high flying, something a little bit different. Nice quick match as opposed to the match beforehand. The women's Fatal 5-Way elimination match I thought was well paced. I thought they sowed the seeds fairly well for the potential Sasha and Bayley feud. I love the Fiend and John Cena Firefly Funhouse match or segment, whatever you want to call it. I loved it, and obviously Drew and Brock was just a spam finisher match, but the right person won, and I'm very happy for Drew.
Yeah, the question, I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards the first night being better, just because I think it was just there was more quality sort of like more meaningful stuff on the part 1 than it was in part 2.
Mm-hmm.
But again, but I think both nights had that like match where you went, that was awesome. Like night 1 you had basically the Buried Alive match, Undertaker, AJ. That was like, you were like, yeah, that was good. And then this night, and then with night 2 you had the Firefly Funhouse. You're like, yeah, that was really good.
That's the debate that's going on at the moment. Which match did you prefer? Did you prefer the Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse?
Just because I like that kind of like in-depth stuff. I would say the Firefly Funhouse was I preferred it more. But for me it's like when people do these comparison things with sort of like when they do it with footballers, when it's like they compare things but they're completely different, so it's not really a fair comparison.
Mm-hmm.
The only comparison these two matches have got is they were both pre-taped outside the arena, and they were put a bit cinematic. But when it comes to like what kind of matches and what they were, it's like one was a sort of like a dive into a character, and the other one was just a nice little fist fight. Like fight, like an end of a movie type fight.
Yes. That's
just with a wrestling type thing. They both worked, but I just think Firefly Funhouse was just a bit more. It's a bit more deep, and I like stuff that's really deep.
Deep like the grave that AJ Styles is in at the moment.
Oh God, I do like the thing with the end. It's like it does feel like an end of the horror movie, but like the bad guy is defeated, but then it's like it feels like Friday the 13th. You know the bit when Jason, like there's a bit where like they thought they killed him, and then all of a sudden he comes back from the dead.
Yeah.
Like he comes from the grave or something. Again, that felt like a horror movie. This one feels like it's a psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to go my style of liking, I like psychological thrillers.
I like psychological thrillers. Yeah, a lot to analyze.
Yeah, and because we're analytic people, we look at things and like to discuss them. That's why we have a podcast.
I love it.
Yes, but yeah, so I mean, so that was a very different WrestleMania. Gotta be honest, it was very for what I was expecting. Not a lot. I was expecting the worst, and it turned out to be. Overall, as much as we can crap on those, what they did and what they put together, they put on a pretty 2 solid nights, I would say.
So nights, it was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't awful either.
No, it might be what we needed. I mean, I'm not saying it's like it's the best thing ever, but
it was a nice escapism, and yeah, it was nice. There was something to look forward to, as long as you go in with low expectations.
Yeah, then it'd be fine.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go in expecting like the spectacle that is WrestleMania, then you're obviously going to be disappointed here. But no one was. I mean, I can crap on it a lot, but I just think it. I can just say like I can take away the bad, and it's just but the good. I mean, it's like they say like the bad's bad. Like some of the matches were meh, but but when things were good, they were really good.
Yes,
like they really went for it. And I mean, I think it delivered in most parts. We haven't got WrestleMania moments. We've got these moments we're going to talk about all year. And that's the both of the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard match.
Two of the most memorable moments for sure.
Yeah, and if anything at WrestleMania, it's obviously about WrestleMania moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say it's a WrestleMania moment. Them two.
Absolutely.
So I think it was a success in the sense that it did do what it was supposed to do and just sort of like keep us going for a bit. But if you compare it to other WrestleMania, it's not even close. But
no,
but
don't think you can.
Yeah, I thought it done alright. I mean, I'm not gonna. I would like to crap on it, but it's just I can't put myself to do it because I actually did enjoy some of the stuff. So that's enough for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did it, man. We're there. We got through like 6 hours worth of content.
In about 4 hours of podcast. Not bad going.
No, it looks like nearly. I think like the first one's one about like the usual hour 40, like we normally chat. And this one's one about the same.
Ah.
So we've probably got what 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
I think it's longer than that. Yeah, about 3.5 hours probably.
I have no idea how I'm going to edit this together.
Have fun.
I mean, I've got two options here. One, if you actually listen to this, if you got to the end of this, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. What I might do is I might either edit the audio.
Yep.
And then sort of like put it on YouTube or something.
Okay.
Or maybe put it somewhere that you can stream it or something. I don't know. I'll think of something. I think what I do is I'll edit it and then we'll just go from there. But yeah, I mean, the question obviously now when we back, because obviously they might be a Money in the Bank. We don't know yet.
There might be in the Money in the Bank. Well, it might be at the Performance Centre, which is highly likely. You'll be back for your retro review of WrestleMania 2000. Well, WrestleMania 16. Yeah.
16. Yes. Yeah. So back to my mate Kyle, my old uni mate. He's big into wrestling, so we're gonna dive into that in the next couple of days. So that should be out, if not at the end of the weekend. But yeah, so that's, and obviously you'll be still doing your, you still working on the Super G one?
I'm working on that slowly but surely, yes.
You never know. If I got a feeling we're going to be stuck indoors a bit longer than I've got a feeling like another month probably.
I won't be surprised if there's another 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll obviously listen to this. And
Stop having picnics.
Yes, I would
have a barbecue at home. I had a barbecue at home. It was lovely.
Yeah,
just do that.
Sit in the garden. Yeah, that'd be nice. But
yeah.
What you forget? You had two in the span of like a couple of days. So
yeah, we'll probably have the same again tomorrow. What a shame.
I'm just jealous because I'm not having barbecues. All I have is tea. That's enough for me. So happy days.
Yeah. Well, you're more than welcome to come round and have a barbecue. Oh wait. Thanks
for that, man. Thanks for rubbing it in.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll just Skype you or Zoom you next time. We'll enjoy a virtual burger together.
We joke, but that actually sounds like a good idea. Actually. But yeah, so we'll be back when we'll be back. Hopefully, we'll be back for the Money in the Bank. Yes, and I'll be back with my retro review. Yeah, I'm guessing it's nothing really more to discuss other than to sign off, I guess. I've been Stuart Irvine.
I've been Joshua Plummer.
And everyone stay safe. We'll get through this eventually. And we'll hopefully be back for Money in the Bank. See ya. Bye.
See you. Bye.